Why are you acting all fucking brand new about this now? On this reread, I'm hating Kale, like, even more than I already did. Because I don't care today. It's fine. Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to talk about some friggin' books. I'm filming 2 videos. I already said in the one, I always kind of jokingly at times will be like, oh, I look like crap today. I really do today, so please don't leave comments asking me if I'm sick. I just don't have any concealer or eyebrows or anything, because I don't care today. It's fine. I put some powder on those, so hopefully at least my face isn't shining in your eyes. But yeah, we're just going to talk about some books that I read recently. And 2 of them are rereads, so should be kind of quick with that. The first one being Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. And yeah, I'm still continuing on the buddy read with Ingrid and Roger, and then Elle has joined us starting with this book because she had never read past Heir of Fire. And yeah, this is my 3rd time reading this. Oh, and I think I keep forgetting to say that I'm listening to these on audio. I don't listen to audiobooks that much, so like I legit forget. But yeah, I have thus far, I think I read The Assassin's Blade in the physical form, and then I started with Throne of Glass listening to audiobook. So that is what I'm doing, because yeah, it's my 3rd time reading these, and I actually ended up giving this one a higher rating. There's been a couple other ones that I gave lower ratings on this reread, and maybe it's because like the other ones were a little lower, so then this one I was like, oh my god, so great. But like, I just love so much about this. The beginning still is very annoying because Kale is just, oh my god. Kale and Selena both are just, shut up. Just bitching at each other and being like, it's your fault that this bad stuff happened. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. It makes literally no sense that they're so, like, especially Kale, blaming her for shit. Be like, well, you weren't here. Sir, you are the one that sent her away. Like, what? So fucking stupid to be as pissy pants as he is for as long as he is. And I can't. On this reread, I'm hating Kale, like, even more than I already did. He's just so fucking annoying. But Manon and the 13 and Abraxos and just all of that. Ugh, I love the witches so much. I love Manon Blackbeak so much. Oh my god. The whole, Manon and Selena meeting, and then the things that happen after with the note that Manon leaves. Oh god, just such epic moments. I love it. Like, when Sarah J. Maas does those, like, epic, oh my god, like, I just think she does it so well. It's so much fun. It's just so much fun. So, yeah. Gave this one a 4.25 this time around. Then I completed The Bone Maker by Sarah Beth Durst. I have already unhauled this, so I don't have a copy with me, so I'll put the thing up there. This is adult fantasy. It's a standalone dealing with, as you may imagine, bone magic. We have a big bad evil guy who was defeated like 25 years ago by this band of heroes who do different kinds of bone magic. And these 5 heroes have gone their separate ways over the years. But they are now realizing that they might have left part of their job unfinished, and they might have to come back together to defeat a new evil. So the characters, I loved Zara. Yeah, Zara. I love Zara so much. Oh my god. I had tabbed quite a few lines of hers that were just so funny. Like, the character dynamics were really good. Like, I loved their interactions with each other, how they spoke to each other, just everything about them coming back together and kind of figuring all of that out. I really enjoyed that. I think the biggest, like, I don't want to say problem for me, but the biggest con for me in this book was that it is a standalone that feels like it shouldn't have been a standalone. You know what I mean? Like, the pacing, it just felt like the story that was being told was too big for a standalone, so it felt pretty rushed It felt just like, oh, we're doing this and now we're doing that and okay, oh my God. But like what was happening in reality, like it just didn't make sense that it was all happening this freaking fast. It just kind of felt like a little bit crammed together. And especially the ending, culmination, battle and stuff that was happening, just, it was over really quickly. So yeah, this one was a fine time. I'm not mad that I read it. You know, it's a standalone and I'm done with it now and there we go. I just wasn't really all that gripped by the plot, despite really enjoying the characters and the writing style. So I ended up giving this one 3.25. Next up was continuing on the reread of Throne of Glass with Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. Again, I listened to this on audio. This is, again, my third time reading this book. The first time I read this series was in 2016, and then these were all published, and so then I stopped here, and then I had to like wait for Tower of Dawn, and then I had to wait for Kingdom of Ash, and I didn't read Tower of Dawn until right before Kingdom of Ash because I didn't care. So yeah, I reread them all in 2018 to then read Tower of Dawn and then read Kingdom of Ash right away. So I've read these first, how many, including the novellas? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books 3 times now. But Tower of Dawn I've only read once and will only read once, and Kingdom of Ash I've only read once. And so this will be my second time when we get to that one. But yeah, again, really love this. And I think, again, I gave it a higher rating. I sure did. Yes, slightly higher. In 2016, I didn't have a rating written down in my little book plate. But 2018, I gave it 4 stars. And my issue the first time around reading this series was that I just didn't love the romance with her and Rowan. I was just kind of like, okay, I guess, whatever. I liked it better on reread, and now, honestly, on this reread, basically any of the romance that's happening with any of the characters, I kind of just don't really give a shit. I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's like, it's the whole Sarah J. Maas thing where everybody has to be paired up, pretty much always in a heterosexual relationship, and it's basically like whoever you're in close proximity to for the longest that is of the opposite gender. Like, that's your partner. Like, God forbid we have a man and a woman who spend some time together getting to know each other and don't fall in love with each other. They can't just be friends. We can't just have platonic interactions here unless you're related. If you're related, you can have platonic relationships. But aside from that, if you are not taken already and you get to know someone of the opposite gender in a Sarah J. Maas book, that's your romantic partner. Like, it's just like, can we have somebody be just friends, please? That would be great. Anyway, so yeah, I just don't really care about the romance. It doesn't annoy me anymore like it did the first time I read the series, but I'm just like, every time she is like getting down and saucy with Rowan, I'm just kind of like, anyway, I just don't give a shit. But once again, just epic moments. Oh my good God, what happens with Manon in this one towards the beginning is just one of my favorite moments ever. When she tells the 13 to run and then does the thing. Oh my God, I love it. And Abraxos coming through. And I mean, this book is just full of what, again, Sarah J. Maas, here comes the cavalry, secret plans that our main character has made, and just big reveals all towards the end of like the here comes the cavalry, people showing up, and so on and so forth. I'm trying not to be spoilery if you haven't read this, but I love it. I eat it up. I think it's so fun. It's so fun. Sometimes it like doesn't really make sense, like why you wouldn't have told your people about XYZ thing, but I don't really care. I'm not here for it to make sense. I'm like, I think the series is just fun. It's a fun time, you know? So yeah, really love this. I don't know, yeah, because I gave both of them 4.25. I gave this 4.25 on reread as well. So yeah, between Queen of Shadows and Empire of Storms, they're kind of close. Because like, Queen of Shadows has some of my favorite moments in the whole series, But the beginning part where Kale is just being so fucking annoying is the worst. And then in this one, Kale is gone entirely. He's doing his shit that he's doing in Tower of Dawn. So he's not here at all, which is great. But there is a lot of the romance shit happening here that I just don't care. Not just with the main characters, but like other side people where I just don't really care that much. So, but yeah, they're kind of tied. Ingrid and Roger, and I think Elle are reading Tower of Dawn now. And I'm just going to read the book series recaps.com recap of it and then read Kingdom of Ash with them. And then another audiobook that I listened to was The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. This is one that has been on my radar for a long time, I think since it came out, and people recommending like fantasy romance kind of always will mention this book a lot of the time. And so I've had it on my to read forever and like, oh yeah, I want to get to that. Oh yeah, I want to get to that. And then Elle read it recently and was like, I really think you would enjoy it. And so it just kind of kickstarted me to like, all right, let me listen to the audiobook, see if I can do that. And yeah, I quite enjoyed it. The audiobook itself was fine. The male voice, because it's the two POVs, the female love interest main character and then the male love interest main character. And the audiobook has a woman doing the woman's chapters and a guy doing the guy's chapters. And the guy narrator I didn't love quite so much. I didn't like his like inflection, and yeah, I just didn't love his voice all that much, but it was fine. It wasn't like unbearable. It was kind of like, I don't like how you say stuff. But I did enjoy it. Yeah, it was a good time. The world is really cool. It's not really actually a fantasy other than in the aspect that it's like a made up world. But I feel like when you think of fantasy, you think of magic or magical creatures or something, and there's none of that in here. It's just a completely made up world. I really liked the character interactions. I did enjoy the romance. I thought that made sense. There was some stuff towards the end that like I didn't think made sense, and I kind of want to talk about it. So I'm gonna spoiler warning right here for the ending of The Bridge Kingdom. So I'll put a timestamp of when I'm done talking about it if you are going to read this and you don't want to hear. But okay, so I thought it made sense that he figured out that she was a spy. Like, because right from the get-go, Aaron was like, yeah, she's probably a spy. Like, everybody was like, you shouldn't marry her because she's probably a spy. Like, this is a bad idea. She shouldn't know our secrets. And he was kind of like, right off the bat, like, yeah, she could be, but I really want this to work for peace, And then we see her, like, kind of learning, like, wait, some of this doesn't add up, what I've been told versus what I'm seeing. And I really enjoyed that, like, seeing Laura, like, kind of realizing that she'd been lied to and totally brainwashed and indoctrinated her entire life. And I liked how all that played out, and I liked that it didn't get dragged out like crazy amounts. Again, it just made sense to me how she was still trying to push back a little bit, like, no, this can't be the truth, right? I can't fathom that this is the truth. But then it's like once she was presented with enough hard factual information, she came around and was like, okay, this is clearly the truth. Like, this sucks. So I liked that. And I liked that, again, Aaron kind of realized, like, oh yeah, she's been spying. And he was like gonna potentially kill her if he thought she was going to tell her dad, but then she didn't, and so he didn't kill her, and he was like all glad because he's like, cool, she must have like had a change of heart, and that's awesome. And then I appreciated that she was like, I'm gonna have to tell him the truth, and that he like knew already and told her and was like, yeah, I know that you were a spy. Okay, great, grand, wonderful. I'm like, that makes sense. Like, it wouldn't have made sense to me if he had been like, what, she was a spy? Because it's like, dude, you kind of knew like that was highly likely. You just got confirmation of it. So I liked that. And then, though, I did not like how she had known that she had these notes with the invisible ink on this piece of paper. Why wouldn't she have just told him that? Like, when he asked, like, have you told your father anything? Like, if I was her, I would want to make absolutely sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that this piece of paper had not gotten out anywhere. You don't know what letters he might have written and shit. Like, you're not in there with him all the fucking time. You counted the pages and you think you're safe. But, like, he already knows that you had been spying. So when he had asked her, did any information get sent? Did you tell your father anything? And she said, no. That was the truth in her head. But she should have right then and there. Like, he already knows that you were spying, that you were trying to gather information. So what would be the harm in saying, I didn't send anything, but I did write some notes down on invisible ink in your office. So can we, like, make sure that that doesn't get out? Like, why wouldn't you have told him that? I don't understand. Like, because, it would make sense to not want to tell him if he didn't know that you had been spying. Like, if her whole thing was just like, I'm done spying, I'm just not going to tell anybody, and I'm just going to, like, hide all the evidence. Okay. But, like, you guys were having a very open conversation about the fact that he knew you were spying. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities that you had taken notes and written them down somewhere. So why wouldn't you just tell him that? Like, oh, I didn't send anything, but I did write notes. Like, let's make sure that's gone. Because then, if he realized, like, oh, fuck, I did send that piece of paper out, your dad has it, like, I could see him still being frustrated and, like, upset about that, obviously, but, like, he would have known that, like, there was no malicious intent on her part, because, like, she told you right away. So her whole, like, being sneaky about destroying the pages just didn't really make sense at that point. At that point, like, you're already having an open conversation about this. Why wouldn't you just tell him that, too? And because you should, like, really want to make sure that that paper didn't get sent. And without any question. So, I don't know. But then when it did come out that, like, the paper had gotten sent, it also then didn't make sense that he was so pissed at her and being like, was everything a lie? What do you mean? You already knew she was spying that whole time. She told you. And now she's telling you, like, oh my God, I thought I destroyed the paper. I'm so sorry. Why are you now questioning everything? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just did logically. I'm like, what? You knew she was spying prior to that point where you guys had that conversation. Why are you acting all fucking brand new about this now? Like, what? Like, being so mad and, like, nothing she said was true. What? Like, it like, hurt my brain. It, like, didn't really make sense to me. So, I didn't love that. I would have given the book a higher rating. I still rated it fairly high for me. It would have been a higher rating, I think, had that ending part not just kind of been like, none of this, like, makes any sense with the rest of the shit that's been happening. Like, it just felt a little bit contrived, I guess. Like, logically, it didn't make sense for these characters and just in general. Like, this chain of events made no sense for them to be acting this way now. Whatever. Anyway, so that was that. But like I said, I did still enjoy it. I am currently listening to the sequel, The Traitor Queen, and I am a little annoyed because the whole beginning part is like him still being like, meh. So yeah, I did enjoy it. There were some elements that I didn't love toward the end, but overall, I liked the writing style, I liked the characters, I liked the romance, and all that. So I ended up giving this one 3.75 stars. And there we have it. Those are the 4 books I have finished recently. I am, like I said, I am in the middle of, or just started rather, The Traitor Queen, Book 2. I am in the middle of The Tangleroot Palace still by Marjorie Liu, and I started Kushiel's Avatar by Jacqueline Carey. And that's probably going to take me a hot minute, but it's fine. Like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined and have not already. And of course, you can leave a little emoji if you just want to make your presence known. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.